Namaste. uh, Namaste and a very warm welcome to all the teachers who have joined us for today's training session. This is Neetu Bartwal and my co-trainer Vani. We welcome you all to the Gurushala family. Thank you teachers for joining us for today's session. And on 22nd and 23rd February, we will be discussing about exploring ICT tools to enhance content creation skills, where we'll be talking about it in detail that how can our teachers enhance their content creation skills by using different ICT tools. Vani, as we know that in the last 2 years, teachers have explored a lot of content creation tools and they have created different kind of contents for their students. So we will just try to add a few more elements to this skill which our teachers have already gained here. So thank you teachers for joining us, and let's move ahead in our today's training session. And before we move forward, we would like to give a bit of information about Gurushala. That Gurushala is an initiative of Indus Stars Limited and Vodafone Idea Foundation, which is implemented by Pratham Education Foundation, and Jigyasa is our content partner. So, Vani, obviously, we'll be talking about a lot of things during our training session, but I would like to request you that please share a few points with our teachers which they should keep in mind while they are attending this training with us.
Thank you, Neetu, and welcome teachers to today's session. I'm Vani, and I'm going to be taking you through the important points that you can keep in mind for today's training. So, the first point that we should keep in mind is that we should make notes of all the ideas and questions that we have. Since we're going to be talking about many important points, we're going to be sharing many important points with you, talking about many platforms and taking you through the Gurushala website and taking you through some other platforms as well. And we will be sharing some pointers, some problems that teachers might go through, the solutions to those problems. The reason for this is that this is why you should make notes of all the ideas and questions that you have during the training, and also make notes of the important points that are being shared with you during the training. So then please keep a notepad and a pen right next to you while watching this session so that you can take a note of every important point that is shared with you. The next important point, teachers, is that you can also type your questions, answers, or ideas in the chat section with us and have a conversation with us. So the way to do that would be to leave a comment in the chat box, comment section here, where I can see that all the teachers are saying good afternoon and greeting us. So good afternoon to all the teachers. So you can share all the ideas that you have, if you have any opinions, if you have any questions, or if you want to simply add to something that we are saying to you. So please feel free to leave these comments on the comment section. The way to do that would be, you will see that if you're joining from your desktop, then the comment section will be on the right of the video. And if you're joining from your phone, then the comment section will be to the bottom of the video. So when you see the comment section, you can simply type in your query or your question or your idea or your thought, your opinion, and we will surely share it with the other teachers as well. The third important point that we should keep in mind is that before we will go into the session or during the session at any point or after the session, we would urge you to please sign up on the Gurushala website for regular updates on trainings, workshops, and competitions. We are going to be taking you through many aspects of the website today, and to be able to explore that, with us, you will have a better experience if you sign up on the Gurushala website. So these are the three important points that you should keep in mind while watching the training. And the last one, and the last thing is that Neetu will be sharing with you the agenda for today's training, which will include what exactly we will be talking about and the points that we are going to be covering during the session. So Neetu, over to you.
Right, Vani. So in today's session, teachers, we'll be talking about the types of learning gaps. As we know that slowly schools are opening, and this is one challenge which we already have encountered that a lot of students have different types of learning gaps. So we'll be discussing it in detail that what basically these learning gaps are and how can we use some strategies to bridge these learning gaps in our classroom. So that will be one point for today's discussion. The second point will be the strategies, obviously, what can be implemented in our classroom and how can we implement these strategies in our classroom. Then we will also be talking about how to plan to create digital content. Obviously, like I had already mentioned, that you have been creating a lot of content in the last 2 years, but going ahead, what can be done to plan it in a better manner and how to present this content to our students. So that will be one aspect of today's training as well. With this, we will also be exploring Gurushala's content library. We'll be sharing with you that how you can register yourself on Gurushala platform and how you can explore the content library and share this content further with your students. So these will be some points which we will be covering in today's session. So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to it, that what these points are and how these are going to help you in your classroom teaching. So going ahead, apart from these training points, we will be doing certain other activities as well. So if I'll quickly take you through these activities, but before that, I would just like to mention here that at the end of this training, that means at the end of 2 days training, tomorrow we will be sharing a Google form with you all, which will be basically there to register your attendance. So all the participants who will submit that Google form will get their certificate of participation on email. So we would request you that please connect for tomorrow's session as well, so that you can get the Google form and register your attendance there. So this will be one point which we would want you to keep in mind while you are attending this training session. Going ahead, like I had mentioned, that we will also be doing some interesting activities during the session. So one activity which we'll be doing is guess the answer. That will be one activity. Also, apart from that, we will also be doing fastest fingers first, and there is one more activity which is audience poll. So Vani, why don't we start our training with one such activity with our teachers, so that they will also get a chance to share their answers, share their opinion with all of us.
Thank you so much, Neetu. So, the first activity, teachers, that we are going to be conducting now is the audience poll, in which we will be giving you a question with multiple options, and you can give your answer in the form of those options. So, there's going to be option 1, 2, and 3. And whatever the answer is, you don't have to type the entire answer. You can just type at 1, at 2, or at 3 in the comment section. So, teachers, I would urge you to please keep your fingers ready on your keyboards so you can quickly share your answers with us, because there will be a timer of 1 minute to share your answers. And I would just like to remind the teachers that there's no wrong or right answer here. We just want to know what your teaching style is. We want to get to know you better, and we want you to engage with us and talk to us. So this is just one way of getting you to do that. So the first question in the audience poll is that during the time of lockdown, when students are studying from home, what do you think is the main reason for the learning gaps in students? So teachers, I'm going to repeat the question for you. If there is a lockdown and when the students are studying from home, what is the main reason that they experience this learning gap? So the first option is that uh, the strategies that are used online in online teaching, they cause the students to experience this learning gap, or they cause the students to suffer because of this learning gap. The second option is lack of motivation in students, that the students are just not motivated enough to study at home when the teacher is not there, when there are not when there are no other students studying with these students. And the third option is the availability of teaching resources. As we know, in schools we have art rooms, we have art and craft rooms, we have libraries, we have all sorts of activities in playrooms, and we have teachers right there with the students. But these resources are not present in the home setup. So which one of these three reasons do you think is the reason behind their learning gap? So now that we have explained the options and we have explained the question, I would urge the teachers to type in their answers in the comment section, and you will get a 1 minute timer on the comment section. So as I can see, Neetu, there are teachers who have already started sharing their answers with us, and I would like to encourage the other teachers also to share their answers. We can see that Mr. Surya Prakash has said 2, Mr. Ravi Shankar has said 1, and Mr. Naresh has said 2. So mostly we are seeing that teachers are saying 1 and 2, and Surya Prakash sir has also said 3, which is great, because like I said, there is no correct answer to this question. We just want to know your opinion as teachers on why the learning gap exists or why it can occur in students, especially when we keep switching from online to offline modes because of the pandemic. So thank you, teachers, for sharing your answers.
Right, Vani. So thank you, teachers, for sharing your answers. And I think this is a very relevant question, since the schools are opening. So it's important that we reflect on what went wrong and why this learning gap has been there for the students. So this will also give us a chance to ponder upon the things that what went wrong and how can we sort of prepare to make it correct. So I think that is important. So firstly, we should also be aware of the reasons in order to correct it. So Vani, we can see that teachers are still sharing their answers with us, and we will take a few more seconds. We will wait for a few more seconds so that all the teachers can share their opinion with all of us. And we can see that a lot of teachers are sharing option 2, which is basically lack of motivation in students, and also slowly teachers are transitioning towards the option 1 as well. So teachers, we would request to keep sharing your answers with us, and going ahead we will also be sharing the result of this poll with you all, where we'll be able to see that how many teachers are thinking about what option. So that will also be there. So I think, Vani, let's move ahead in our session, and here we will also be talking about these types of learning gap. That what are these learning gaps, and how basically we can uh, implement some strategies to overcome these learning gaps. So let's go ahead with the session.
Yes. So teachers, like we just addressed learning gaps in this audience poll, and we spoke about how maybe lack of motivation in students can be one of the reasons why these learning gaps exist. These learning gaps can be of various types, and the meaning of learning gaps is basically the disparity between what a student has actually learned and the amount of knowledge or the amount of learning that they are supposed to have at a certain age. So let's say a student who is 7 years old or 8 years old, he's supposed to have a certain level of knowledge or a certain level of learning he or she is supposed to have achieved. If they have not achieved that, if they have not been able to gather that, then that means that there's a learning gap that exists in that student. So we are going to be talking about that mostly in the session today, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with the solution for the lack of motivation that a lot of teachers are seeing in their students. The solution can be through content, which is also something that we're going to be discussing, and it can be through other strategies that we will be discussing during the session. So, Neetu, I would like to request you to please take the teachers through some of the types of learning gaps, and we can move ahead with the session.
Right, Vani. Generally, when we talk about learning gaps, we only think about one type of gap, which is basically knowledge gap. So we'll start with this only. We'll start with the knowledge gaps. That what do we mean by knowledge gaps? So when we talk about this knowledge or like level of learning level of students, we generally talk about, like Vani just mentioned, that if a student is at the age of 7, he should know certain things. There are certain elements which are expected from the student. So if the student is not able uh, to I would say explain those things, or maybe to express those things, so that is what we call knowledge gaps. There could be different reasons of this knowledge gap, and also one element is there that when students do not know or were not exposed to the correct information, so that is also one more reason for which brings the knowledge gaps among the students. So that is obviously one point. If we move ahead to the second type of learning gap, that is skills gap, which means that a student did not get the necessary practice which was required to develop certain common skills. As we know that in the last 2 years, students have been at their home. They were at their home, and uh, I would say that a certain type of environment which is required for learning or practicing skills, that was not available to a lot of students, which has brought these learning gaps among the students. So knowledge gap and skill gap is there. And we will also talk about what other gaps are there. We generally think or talk about knowledge gap only, but apart from that, there are certain other points which needs to be factored in while we will be planning for our next academic year. As we know that in the upcoming month there will be final exams of students, and from April onwards new academic year will start. So going ahead in the new academic year, it will become important that we pre-plan certain things to avoid or to overcome these learning gaps, so that students can be taught according to their learning level. So Vani, I would request you to share the other types of learning gaps with our teachers.
All right, teachers. So we have just received the results for the poll, and this is completely in line with the next type of learning gap that we're going to be talking about. So according to the poll, 64% of the teachers thought that lack of motivation in students is one of the reasons for the learning gaps. And the third type of learning gap that we're going to be talking about right now is motivation gaps. Motivation gaps are basically, when students lack the motivation to advance their knowledge or skills. And to put it simply, and something that all the teachers must have experienced, I'm sure, students just want to sometimes avoid studying. because students, they have to be encouraged, then they have to be pushed, sometimes they have to be motivated to study. So to be able to generate that kind of motivation in students is difficult. And because of the online mode of teaching and the teacher not being there with the student, there is a motivation gap that can occur in students because of these circumstances. So this is what the motivation gap talks about, that students lack motivation to advance their knowledge or skills, or they lack the motivation to self study or study by themselves. So this is the reason why we conduct tests and we conduct quizzes and we conduct fun games with the students to also check their level of learning, to check their level of knowledge, and also motivate them to want to participate. Because healthy competition is also something that really encourages the students to participate, to advance their knowledge, to study more, to read more. So that is one way of dealing with a motivation gap, and that is also another type of learning gap that we have witnessed in the students. The fourth type of learning gap is environmental gaps. So this means that the students lack an environment that is conducive to learning. So this means that there's an environment that the students are staying in which does not really motivate learning or does not really help learning. It maybe hinders the process. For example, let's say the students are at home and they are living with their family, or they're living with their siblings, or they are living in a joint family. Then it becomes very difficult for them to find a quiet corner to focus on what they're studying or to focus on their classes, which is why this environmental gap can occur. So, to be able to bridge this environmental gap, we will be also talking about many other strategies and many other plans that we can think about when we bridge these gaps. But just to give teachers, and I would love for teachers to also share their thoughts and opinions on these types of learning gaps, because I'm sure that during online teaching and during online classes, teachers must have experienced one, if not all, of these gaps. And the last learning type of learning gap is a communication gap. That students experience gaps in communication. As we all know that when teachers speak to the students, or when students are with the teacher, there is a way to students want to ask them questions, or students are able to address their queries, address their doubts. And sometimes it becomes difficult. It can become difficult because the students is not confident enough to go to the teacher. It can become difficult because the students are hesitant to let the teacher know that they have not understood something. This type of learning gap can also create a gap between the teacher and the student, which is why the students should always be motivated. They should be encouraged to ask questions, and they should always be encouraged and reassured that it's always good to address your doubts, to address your questions, rather than keeping them in your mind. So, teachers, to recap, we have discussed knowledge gaps, skill gaps, motivation gaps, environmental gaps, and communication gaps. And I'm hoping that the teachers have also resonated with with these types of learning gaps, and I'm waiting for the teachers to also share their thoughts and opinions on chat. And now, Neetu, I think now that we have spoken so much about learning gaps and the problems that exist, I think we should definitely address how to bridge these learning gaps as well. So I think we can go ahead and talk to the teachers about that.
Right, Vani. And we would also like to request our teachers that if you feel there are any other types of gap, or there are any other kind of challenges which you have faced during your online classes, or maybe let's say when we are trying to go on an offline medium, because slowly schools are opening, so you can always share your thoughts on our chat section. Yes, so please feel free to share anything in the comment section. So going ahead, now we'll be talking about that how we can bridge these learning gaps. What could be some small strategies to begin with, to basically bridge these learning gaps. So if we move ahead and talk about the first strategy that can be used in our classroom to just basically quickly understand that what our students are thinking about, and what they have learned from a certain topic which you have taught in your class. So the first strategy which can be used is 3 to 1 rule. So this can be one strategy which can be used across all the subjects, or and for all the topics. So you can ask your students to share 3 things, 3 points, at the end of any class. At the end of any class, you can ask them to basically write down 3 things they have learned today, and then 2 questions they want to ask. Obviously you will try to clear all their doubts. You will when you teach in your classroom, you will explain everything, but still there are times when students do not understand certain things, and they hesitate in asking in the classroom. So this could be one way where you tell them to write down these questions which they want to ask from you. And lastly, you can ask them to share one interesting point or maybe one thought or opinion about the topic which they want to share with their classmates as well. So this could be one small strategy which will hardly take 5 to 7 minutes to complete and to get implemented in the classroom. So this could be one strategy which can be used in our classroom for all the subjects. So 3 to 1, three things that the students learned today, two questions they want to ask from you, and one interesting point or thought about the topic. So this is one strategy. If we talk about the second strategy, which that is think, pair, and share, teachers, you must be already aware about this strategy. So we can divide our classrooms, divide our students into small groups or maybe into pairs, depending upon the strength of your classroom and the duration you have to conduct this activity. Keeping these factors in mind, you can divide your classroom into smaller sections, smaller groups, and provide them certain topics which you feel that the students are lacking in. So you can suggest these topics or maybe give some guiding questions to the students, which can be discussed in pair or group, and later on the learnings or maybe the outcomes of this discussion can be shared with all the class. So this could be one more strategy which can be applied in our classroom. So Vani, apart from these two strategies, what other strategies can we share with our teachers?
Yes, teachers. So we have just discussed the 3-2-1 rule and the think, pair, share rule. And again, I would like to encourage the teachers to share their thoughts and their opinions on chat. The third strategy that we're going to be talking about is 5 questions a day. So basically, this strategy can be used to encourage students to ask their questions, and by also encouraging them to think and to explore what they have learned in their heads, in their minds, and also to build confidence in them to share. So the activity would include asking the students asking just 5 questions about one topic per day. So studies have shown that this can over a single week build a very comprehensive view in the students of the. So the questions can be based on the following things. The first one, what's important? So basically, when we think about what's important, it's the things that are going to make the students succeed this year. What's imminent, which would mean that what is going to help the students in the sense, what's on priority and what can be addressed later. And the third part is going to be what's fundamental, in the sense, what are the core areas of knowledge that should be covered for the students, and what the knowledge and what subjects they should have knowledge on. So just to give you an example, teachers, if we are thinking about something that's important, something that's imminent in the sense it should happen fast, and something that's fundamental, that is completely necessary, then we can think of an example. Let's say you want to teach students about empathy. So if you cover a topic about empathy, if you have a subject, if you have moral science as a subject, or if you have a chapter in English literature, if you ask the students 5 questions about one topic per day, it will make them think about empathy. It will make them think about human emotions. It's important. It's going to help them succeed in their communication. It's going to help them succeed in their social relationships. And it's going to help them succeed in their relationship with the teachers and among other students and with their parents. It's important because as soon as students learn about empathy, as soon as students learn about social skills, the better it is. And it's fundamental because at the end of the day, empathy and being kind and be good are all fundamental things that all students, especially children, these qualities can be inculcated in children. And I would like to emphasize, teachers, that this is just an example that I'm giving you. These questions can be about any topic, but these are the three things that we can base the questions on. So the third strategy that we have just spoken about is 5 questions a day. And the fourth one that we're going to be talking about is board of thoughts. In this strategy, we can set up an online or an offline board to discuss observations or thought during the class. And we can also have an off topic board for the students in which they can share their personal messages or personal thoughts. And they can also draw their feelings, or they can share their thoughts on the board through drawing or through any measure of communication. They can draw, they can sketch, they can write, they can do whatever feels right to them. This is a free space for them. This is also another thing that can help the students explore their thoughts, explore their minds, explore what they have studied, explore what they have learned, or just simply explore something that they want to share. This can also help in building confidence, and also can also be a fun activity which will in turn motivate the students to come and share their thoughts and opinions, and also ask their teachers questions. So, teachers, just to wrap it up, these strategies, as you can see, largely cover knowledge gaps and motivation gaps. And now we can move ahead with the session and talk about the next activity.
Right, Vani. So here's the now is the time to go for the second activity, which is fastest finger first. As its name suggests, that you would need to. We will obviously be sharing a question with you, and you would need to quickly type your answer and share with us in the comment section. So the question for this activity is that what type of content do you share with with your students for the revision of a concept? So if you want to basically share any topic for revision, what kind of content or what type of content do you generally share with your students? So teachers, we would request you to share the answer with us in comment section, and with this obviously we will have a timer of 1 minute, so we would request you all to share your answers with us. Yes. So I think Vani, teachers have already started sharing their answers with us, and we would request teachers that please quickly share your answers with us. And in the meanwhile, as we have already discussed about the types of learning gaps, and we have also covered a few strategies to basically how we can bridge these learning gaps. So we would request you to keep sharing with us your thoughts on these activities, and in case if you have any questions related to these activities, you can also share these questions as well. So yes, we can see that Krishna Mohanji is sharing that they provide a lot of printed material for the revision. So obviously, yes, we share printed material to our students, and we can also see that teachers are sharing. Raviji has shared that concept mapping is one strategy they use for the revision, and yes, there are certain other examples like relating to the concept. So certain content is shared so that a student can relate to the concepts. Yes, teachers. So yes, we can see that a lot of teachers are sharing their answers with us. So yes, thank you, teachers. Thank you for your active participation in the activity. So going ahead, Vani, we can see that teachers have shared that they share Google Forms, they share printed material, yes, mind mapping, and there are a lot of other examples as well. So these are certain kind of content which we generally share with students for different purpose. So generally we share printed material if we want to explain any concept, or we want to share explanation. We share Google Form for sometimes for assessments, or sometimes for concept explanation as well. So there are certain purposes linked to a certain content type. So yes, going ahead, I would request you to share with our teachers that what are different types of digital content that we can share with our students.
Actually, Karuna, Karun Akir sir just shared with us that he shares printed and audio and video material. So, sir, this is exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's session. Just the way we address the types of content that we provide for our students. Types of digital content. Digital content is becoming more and more popular these days, since the students are very well acquainted with technology and very comfortable with their phones and with their computers. So the first type of digital content is quizzes. The second is video content, interactive games, and slide-based content. So teachers to be able to assess the level of learning of students, to be assess their to be able to understand their understanding. Teachers can share quizzes with their students. This is a fun way of understanding how much they have understood about a topic, how much they have gathered from a topic, and also way to test them on their hard work, on their knowledge. In the same way, to be able to explain concepts easily, video content can be used, interactive games can be used, and slide-based content can be used. One thing that you will see in common in all three of these types of digital content is that they are very visually appealing. And this is one thing that teachers must have noticed in all their students, that students get attracted towards things that are visually appealing, which is something that can be kept in mind when talking about types of digital content. The next type of digital content are simulations and podcasts. Simulations are very interesting because they give students a context, and they also put students in positions, and they help them relate to a certain topic, to a certain set subject, and it helps them be interested, and be actually able to understand what exactly would happen and be able to relate. And in that way, I'm trying to think about, this could also encourage critical thinking, in the sense that students would think what exactly they would do in that situation. Similarly, we have podcasts and infographics as well. Podcasts are usually used not just audio, and there is no video involved and no visuals involved. Podcasts can be used for the students to be able to gather knowledge when they are occupied with something something else, or when they are doing something, like for example, maybe they're helping their mother around the house, or maybe they're taking a walk, they can listen to podcasts and have their knowledge. And the last type of digital content that we're talking about are infographics, which I'm sure a lot of teachers must be already using. Infographics can be used to share all kinds of content with students. They can be used to share maybe like historical events, or they can be used to share things that have certain steps. The most common example of infographics that I can think about are the water cycle and photosynthesis. These are two things that we create a lot of infographics on. And because it's so visually appealing and it's very easy to understand, it also helps the level of understanding, and also just helps with the speed that the students or the time that they take to understand a certain topic or a question. So these are the types of digital content that we have spoken about, and these types of digital content can be used to implement the strategies that we have spoken about just now to bridge the learning gaps that we spoke about earlier in the session. So Neetu, I feel like on the basis of all these points, now we can take the teachers through Gurushala content library to show them what kind of content they can create, and maybe they can take ideas from it, or they can share this content with their students.
Right, Vani. So, teachers, we will quickly take you through the Gurushala platform. And like Vani has just mentioned, that when we are trying to share content with our students, so it becomes important that we identify the objective of sharing any kind of content. So, like the activity had mentioned about the revision part, that what kind of content do you share with your students if you want to revise any concept, if you want to tell your students to revise any concept. So similarly, whenever we are trying to share any kind of content, we firstly need to identify the learning objectives of the content, that what are the expectations from that content piece. So yes, going ahead, we'll be looking at a lot of content pieces, that what kind of content can be shared for which type of learning basically. So if we talk about the Gurushala platform, so here this is the home page of Gurushala. You can simply type www.gurushala.co in your Google browser, or you can download Gurushala application from Play Store and access our platform here. So as you can see that on the home page there is an option to log in on the platform. So you can see here is an arrow. On when you click on this arrow, you will get certain options to log in on the platform. So you can log in from either your Google ID or Facebook ID, or maybe from your mobile number. So these all these options are available. Since I have already registered myself on the platform, I'll just quickly click on the Google, and I will get the options from which ID do I want to log in. Once I click on the ID, I will be logged into the platform. So here you can see that this page appears when you log in the platform for the first time. So after that, I can simply click on the Gurushala logo or on the home button, and you will be redirect towards the home page of the Gurushala. Here you can see that a lot of options are there. You can see that course modules are there. You can see content library is there, Gurushala Academy, quiz for students, online training, staff room, Parat, and a lot of sections which basically supports the overall capacity development of teachers and supports your teaching learning process as well. So we will be talking about certain elements in today's session, and certain elements will be discussed in tomorrow's session, so that you can get a clarity on how Gurushala can support your teaching learning in your classroom. So if I talk about firstly that course module section is there. So course modules are basically self-paced interactive courses which provides a solution to your classroom problems. And apart from that, there are certain courses which talk about your own capacity development as well. It talks about communication skill, collaboration skill, how you can develop your skills and also impart these skills in your students as well. So these are certain self-paced courses. You can explore this section and enroll in any course whichever you like, and these are all self-paced and free of cost courses. So yes, so this is one section of Gurushala. The second section is content library, where more than 50,000 content resources are there. You can basically go to the content library section. You will get the content from 1st to 12th class for almost more than 25 subjects, and you can search the content whichever you want for your topic and share with your students from here as well. Apart from that, Gurushala Academy is there, where students can attend live interactive classes which are conducted by different experts and teachers. Apart from that, you can also register yourself on Gurushala Academy and take classes on the platform. So we would highly recommend that please log into Gurushala and volunteer yourself for teaching on Gurushala Academy. Then there is one more section, quiz for students. These are some ready-made quizzes for students which can be shared with them according to your topic, and they will be able to attempt these quizzes on the platform, and after that they will get the result as well. They will be able to see and check their knowledge. Then online training section is there. So like today we are attending one training session. Here you can get all the trainings which have already been done on the Gurushala platform. There are different types of training which we do on the platform on different themes, on diverse themes, from arts integrated learning to computational thinking to critical thinking. So you can always go to the platform, and in this section you will get all sort of trainings which have been conducted on the platform. There is also one more section of staff room. So, like we have a staff room in our school, there is a staff room on Gurushala as well for all the teachers of across the country. So teachers generally come on the platform and they share their thoughts. They share any kind of questions or queries they have, or any kind of problem they are facing in their classroom, or any kind of challenges they are facing in their teaching learning process. So for that, staff room is there, where teachers across the country share their different challenges and solution for the same. There is also one more section of Parat. So this is basically a test which will help you to analyze your attitude and your thinking as a teacher. So we will be talking about this section in detail towards the end of today's session. So I'll keep it here for now. So going ahead, teachers, Vani, as we have said that we will be exploring content library in detail. So let's take our teacher through content library. So when I click on content library, so this kind of page opens up, and teachers, here you can see that a lot of content is already there. You can see a lot of documents are there, videos are there, so you will be able to search different kind of content. Teachers, there are different options to search your content. In case you want to search through keywords, that option is also there. So you can just simply type that what topic do you want to search. So for example, if I want to see surface area of cube, that is one topic which I want to search. So I can just type this thing here, and you will be able to see that content related to it will be here on your screen. So this is one type of search you can do here by just putting some important keywords, and you will be able to see all the content related to those keywords. Apart from that, filter option is there. So you can see that a triangle is here on the right corner. So after clicking on this triangle, you will be able to see the search option here. So I'll just quickly take you through this option. So here we can see that subject filter is there, class filter is there, content type filter is there, language filter is there. So you can see that more than 5 languages of content is there, and we can also see that more than 20 plus content type is there. A lot of content is curated from other partners as well. So you can see that there are a lot of partners whose content is there on our platform as well, apart from Gurushala's own content. So if you want to search any kind of content, we can just simply click on any filter. If I want to see the content of bio, I can click here, and you will be able to see all the content material related to bio here. If I want to search for any specific class, so you can use this filter option for classes as well. If I want to see content of class 8, you can just click on class 8, and you will be able to see the content for class 8. So here I can see that data handling, synthetic fiber and fabric. So this type of content is there. So yes, this is one way of searching for content. And teachers, we can see that language filter is there, content type filter is there. As we have just shown you different content types, we have talked about video content, we have talked about infographic simulation. So all type of content can be seen here. So you will be able to search through content type as well. So Vani, we'll just quickly take our teachers through a video which we can watch together, that what type of content is there on the platform. So for example, we will just watch a video related to surface area of a cube. Yes. So teachers, in the meanwhile, we would request you to share any kind of questions if you have related to our platform.
Hello friends, you are all welcome to this video. In the previous video, we studied the surface area of a cuboid. Today, in this video, we shall study about the surface area of a cube. Manas and Thomas are playing a game of snakes and ladders. Thomas, it's your turn. Why are you taking so long? Throw the dice quickly. Wait, Manas, did you notice that this dice is not cuboid in shape? Yes, Thomas. All the faces of this dice are square. So the shape of this dice is that of a cube. That means its length, width, and height are exactly the same. So if we had to cover this dice with paper, how much paper would we need? This is a math question. That means it's math time! Suppose the length of each side of this dice is 1. If we open this cube-shaped dice and flatten it, its shape of a net will be formed and it will look something like this. Can you tell me what will be the area of each side of the dice? Each
Right. So, teachers, this is one kind of content which we have just seen. So, there are a lot of other contents as well. Just in case, let's say, for example, if I want to share a video content, so I can just simply search a video content and share with my students. If in case I want to search any kind of case study, so for any for a follow up activity, so just I have explained, I have already shared video for the explanation, and now is the time that I want students to practice the concepts as well. So for that also you can share your content here, you can search for the content, and you can explore that what kind of case studies are there, what kind of case studies can be seen and shared with students. So Vani, I would just like to show an example to our teachers that if they want to search a content here. Yes, Vani.
Neetu, I think one of our teachers has a very good question. Ravi sir is asking if this type of content is only available in English or is it available in Hindi also, or if it's available in any other language.
Right. So, Ravi, sir, you can see that language filter is available on the platform on the left hand side. So, in case if you want to search any content in any other language, you can just simply select that language filter and you will be able to see the content in another language as well. So, that option is available. You will be able to search this content here. Right. So going ahead, like I was just mentioning about that, in case I have already shown a video to my students, and now I want to give a case study or maybe another any other kind of worksheet or maybe any quiz. So I can simply search for that topic, and I'll be able to see that a lot of other content is available. So this is one such example of a case study of on the topic of cubes and cube roots. So if I click on this, you will be able to see that an interactive case study is there where a situation is given to the students, and by going through this situation, student will be able to know more about the concept, and it will also give them an opportunity to apply the knowledge of their concept. So it becomes important that once we have done the explanation, we give some kind of follow up activity to our students. So like this, teachers, you can create a complete package of your lesson plan for your students. So I can add videos to my lesson plan, I can add case studies, or I can add did you know do it yourself projects. So this kind of option is available on the content library. You will be able to see all these types of content here in the content type. You can see animated videos are there, assessments are there, case studies are there, challenge questions, chapter quiz. So like this, a lot of different kind of content is already added on the platform, which can be used and shared with our students. A lot of content from here can be downloaded as well, especially the documents. Those are available for download as well. You can share the downloaded material with your students on your WhatsApp groups, or maybe if you want to show it in your classroom as well, because obviously going ahead we will be using a hybrid model for our classrooms. So we will be sharing certain things in the classroom, and we will be giving certain uh, videos, or maybe let's say certain topics to study at home as well. So this kind of model can be backed up by available content. So you will be able to see that a lot of content is available on the platform. Yes. So one, in case we have any other questions from our teachers, so we can take that question.
Yes, actually, Neetu. Rama so also has a question if there's a Telugu version. So I was just wondering if we could show the teachers some of our Telugu content and show them the other languages that we also have on the Gurushala website.
Right, Vani. So, like I had just mentioned, that if you click on the Telugu, you will be able to see the content in Telugu language as well. So, like this, teachers, you can see that this content, this is a concept video which is available in Telugu on the topic patterns using words, quiet and loud, more and less game. So, like this, you will be able to filter content in Telugu language. Yes. So teachers, this is obviously just a small glimpse of content library. Like I had mentioned, that more than 50,000 content pieces are already there on the platform for different classes, for different subjects, and different content types. So we would definitely request you to explore content library in more detail, and get a glimpse of what content library actually looks like and how it can support your teaching learning in your classroom. And feel free to ask any questions in tomorrow's session, or maybe with us going ahead, if in case you want to ask anything about the platform, or any other queries you have related to the session. So yes, now we would like to we have seen Gurushala briefly. So we would like to go ahead in our session. And Vani, since we have already talked about the content library, and we have already shown the different types of content to our teachers, but there are times when we think that customized content, or maybe content in our own native language will help our students more. So that is the time when we need to create some content, or maybe customize the content we already have. So I would request you to share with our teachers that how should we plan for such kind of content, how should we prepare to create some kind of digital content for our students.
Absolutely. So, teachers, just the way you saw many kinds of content that are available on Gurushala, there's a level of planning that goes behind creating these content pieces. So, while we have certain strategies set, we also need to have certain plans set to be able to create the best kind of content for our students that is going to help them in their studies and that is going to help them in their academics and otherwise as well. So the first thing that we need to keep in mind while making content for our students is what exactly do we want to teach. So we have to be very clear about the content, about the chapter and the topic, and we also have to be very clear about the objective that with which we are creating the uh, content piece. So the digital content piece can be created because you want to assess the level of learning of the students, or it can be created because you want to explain a topic to them. The objective has to be very clearly set. For example, if you want to assess, we will be making a quiz, but if you want to explain a concept visually in a visually appealing manner, in a good way, then maybe we will use infographics. If we want the students to be entertained, if we want them to learn and also have fun together, then maybe we will go for a video. So these are just a few examples of what exactly we should keep in mind while deciding what kind of content we want to teach. So the first point is that we should be clear about the chapter and the topic, and we should also identify the objective behind creating this digital content piece. The second thing that we need to keep in mind is how to teach. So when we are planning to create these digital content pieces, it's very important to keep in mind the activities or the questions for the session, the questions that the digital content piece is going to be based around. So it's very good to have a plan on how exactly you are going to execute this digital content piece, and how exactly you're going to execute the class, and what activities and questions are going to be present in the class. So these content pieces can include points to ponder on, some key facts, something that will keep the students interested, something from the textbook and something that is maybe not from the textbook. And very importantly, we should also encourage students to think more and explore their minds more, which is why teachers should also be encouraged to add questions also to these content pieces and these sessions. And also, just the way we were planning the objective in the first point, we should in a similar way we should also plan the conclusion of the class, how exactly the class is going to conclude, and what at what point do we want the class to conclude. Do we want the class to conclude when the students have understood the topic completely, or do we want to keep the session open ended and want the students to think and do their homework at home? So this is one some these are some points that the teachers should keep in mind while planning a session around a digital content piece. And the third point that we're going to be talking about is uh, how to deliver. So while we have made a plan on what to teach and how to teach, and how delivering is one of the most important points when it comes to sessions, when it comes to presentations. So the first thing is going to be planning the medium of delivery. The first thing would be language that could be kept in mind, and also the level of the students. If a teacher talks to a student from the seventh grade in the same way that they would talk to a 12th grade student, it would not resonate with the students, because the seventh grade students, they have a different level of learning, and they have a different comfort level, and they have a different level of communicating and a different way of communicating. So the medium of delivery, the type of delivery, is something that the teachers have to keep in mind when they are thinking about conducting a session. The level of the audience, the age of the audience, the demographic that they are addressing, these are some points that the teachers can keep in mind while creating digital content pieces and while conducting these sessions around the content pieces. And the teachers should also decide the type of content or the teaching learning materials that they're going to be using during these sessions, and also identify by the types of videos that they're going to be using while delivering the information that they want to deliver to the students, or the information that they want to share with the students. So we have just discussed the points that we can keep in mind while creating digital content. But I would like to request Neetu to please take the teachers through the points that we have shared during this session, because now we're going to move on to a very interesting part of the session where we're going to explore a very nice platform. So Neetu, please, if you could give the teachers a revision of what we have done today.
Right, Vani. So, like Vani has just mentioned that these three steps, these 3 points are important to whenever we are planning to create any kind of digital content, and you may be able to relate these points to your lesson plans as well. That when we plan for any class, we try to figure out that what exactly are we going to teach and how we are going to teach, what kind of activities should we conduct in the classroom, how should we conclude our class, and what are the answers we are expecting from the students. So these are certain points which we keep in mind when we plan our classrooms as well. And also, since we are sharing this digital content through different platforms, some of our teachers are sharing this content on their YouTube channel, some of our teachers are sharing this content on WhatsApp. So there are different mediums through which this content is reaching to our students. So it becomes important that we figure out that how do we want to deliver this content in advance, so that accordingly we can prepare our content videos. For example, if we want to share this content on YouTube channel, obviously the reach and the audience will be diverse, so we would need to keep our videos or any other kind of content appropriate to those audience, appropriate in for the need of those audience. So that will become important. If we creating content for a smaller group, let's say for my 30-40 students who are there in my classroom, maybe my approach would be different. Maybe I can use a different method to teach them, or a different method to create this content. So uh, all these points become important when we are planning to create any kind of digital content. And also seeing the needs of the students, or seeing the purpose of the content, whether it is for the explanation of the concept, whether it is for the revision of the concept, or whether it is for keeping notes of the concept. So that also becomes important to see that what kind of content should we create, and how should we basically deliver this content to our students. So like Vani, we had mentioned about a lot of different types of content. We had talked about video type content, slide based content. We have also discussed about infographics, that different type of infographics can be created to share with our students, and there could be different purposes associated to these infographics. So now I would request you to quickly take our teachers through a new platform. As the title of our session was Exploring ICT Tools, we have already explored Gurushala platform, but now is the time to explore an ICT tool which can support our teachers to create their own customized content that can be shared with our students. And Canva is one such platform which will help our teachers to create videos, slide based content, or any kind of infographic they want to share with their students. So yes, Vani, let us take our teachers through this platform.
Yes, thank you so much, Neetu. 1 second, teachers. I will just share my screen and take you through the process to go to Canva and also show you how exactly we can use Canva to create digital content pieces for our students. First, Neetu, I would just like to confirm with you if my screen is visible. All right. So, teachers, as you can see, I'm on the Google homepage right now, on the Google Chrome homepage. So, the first step is going to be typing www.canva.com in the search bar. When we do that, we will be redirected to the Canva website homepage. So, when you're on the homepage, teachers, I'm sorry, it's just loading for a second. Yeah. So, when you're on the homepage, teachers, you will see that to the right side, right next to create a design, you will see a circle, or you will see an option to sign in or sign up. Since I have already signed in, I don't have to sign in again. So if you want to create an account, if don't have an account on Canva, then you will have to sign up. If you have an account already, then you will have to sign in. So you can simply click here. Like if I were to click here, I would sign out, but you would see an option to sign in or sign up on Canva. So once you are done with that, teachers, one point that we will keep in mind while coming to the Canva website is that we should have the objective clear to us, and we should have also the kind of content that we want to create clear to us, and that will only be clear to us if we have the objective in mind. So today we're going to be talking about some kinds of content pieces that we can create on Canva. I'm just going to share some examples with you, teachers, and then we can go through how exactly we can make these kind of content pieces on the Canva website. So the first kind of content piece that we're going to see is infographics. As you can see, I think I should zoom in a little bit. 1 second. As you can see, teachers, there is an infographic that we have prepared on Canva. So this is these are defining moments of the freedom struggle of India, and in this way, very important dates, very important names, and very important events have been explained to students in a very, like, in one picture itself, in one infographic. So this can be a type of content that can be created on Canva to be able to explore historical events or explain some processes like the photosynthesis and the water cycle, like we discussed earlier, and also many other things. As you can see, teachers, there are many other such templates that can be used by you to create such infographics, which we will be exploring in just a minute. The second type of content that you can see here is a worksheet. So Canva can also be used to create worksheets. As you can see, this is a worksheet that is made on the topic of adjectives. This is an English worksheet. So if you are to want to create a worksheet on Canva, you can also do that with all these templates that are available to you. Uh, the one with the crown at the bottom is the pro one, but you also have many free templates that the teachers can use to make worksheets for their students. So as you can see, teachers, they have also made blanks here. So these are templates that you can make edits on. And the third kind of content piece that we are seeing is also a worksheet which is based around the subject of maths. So you can see, teachers, that here there are multiplication questions and there are also spaces for answers. So you can make these worksheets and add as many colors as you want, and as many elements as you want, making it visually appealing for your students and also interesting. So these are just a few examples of the types of content that can be created on the Canva website. In addition to these types of content, you can also create some presentations, you can create posters, you can create videos. So all sorts of things are available on Canva. If the teachers can see my screen clearly, I think you will be able to see that we have the option of seeing video, worksheet, poster, presentation, and many other options to create on Canva. So right now what we're going to do, teachers, we're going to explore how to exactly create a design on Canva and how to create something for your students. So I think we should go ahead and try to see how we can create an infographic, because I feel like that is the most relevant thing for this session right now, because this is something that will also motivate the students if it's something that's visually appealing. There are two options that now we're going to go through the tutorial, teacher. So I would request you to please type in your questions in the comment section if you have any questions, and we will be sure to address them. So the first step in creating a content piece for your student would either be going to the top right of the website and clicking on create a design, or you can choose one of the options here where you can see that we have the option of creating a poster, a presentation, a worksheet, etc. So right now we're going to click on this arrow and go to infographic. When you click on infographic, you will see that this will open a blank document for you. Now, this document is blank because we have not chosen an existing template. But once you are redirected to this blank page, you will see that towards the left side, there are many templates that are listed out for the teachers to use. So the teachers can use any of these existing templates, or they can create a template of their own. So for example, if we are to use this free template, we can simply click on this and it will appear on our screen. So teachers, I would just like to show you that all these elements that are used in these templates can be edited. For example, this is an element that can be removed, or you can put something else here. This is also an element that can be removed and you can add something else here. Similarly, when you click on this and you go to the top left of the page, you will see that you also get the options of colors. When you go to the colors, you can change colors of certain elements, as I am doing right now. And it will also give you the option of changing all these colors to this color that we have changed it to right now. So if I click on change all, then it will turn the color blue into pink for all the similarly colored elements. So we have explored the colors of the elements and also the elements. Then we have the text. The text is also editable. You can also choose the font of the text from here, the size of the text, the color of the text if you want it to be bold or if you want it to be in italics. There is also the option of making it center aligned or side aligned, and etc. We have many other options. And just the way we have these options in PowerPoint presentations, we also have the option to animate. When you click on animate, you will see that you get all these options that you get on many other websites and many other platforms. Some that we're very familiar with is Microsoft PowerPoint. So if you click on fade, then this will, I'm so sorry. Yeah, if you click on fade, then this will show you exactly how this is going to show. This is how it's going to come for your students. This will be shared as a video with your students. So you can edit these texts, you can edit these boxes, everything is editable. And when you want to add an element, or if you want to create something from scratch, you can also do that. Right now I have shown you how exactly you can edit a template if it's already ready. If teachers want to create something from scratch, then they can, first of all, we will choose the color of the background. So right now the color of the background is white, and for example, we want to talk about the water cycle, then we want the background to be blue. So we can choose any of the colors here and we can make the background of that color. If we are not satisfied with the colors that are provided here, we can always explore the colors here and put that color on our infographic. The next step can be adding elements. If we are talking about the water cycle, then we can go to the elements page. On the elements page, you will see that you can see all kinds of pictures or some clip art or some graphics. You will also be able to see lines and shapes. If you want to add lines and shapes or arrows, you will find that under elements. Similarly, you will see graphics. You will also see photos and videos that you can or add onto your infographics. In addition to these features, you can also share charts, tables, frames, etc. So charts can be used when you want to explain some kind of data to your students, and tables can be used when you want to list out things to your students in an infographic. Frames are used when you want to put a picture in a particular frame, and pictures we are also going to explore in a minute. So right now, let's say we want to add the element of water. First, we are going to go to the search bar, and we are simply going to type water. When you do that, teachers, you will see that you will get all kinds of images and graphics available on the Canva elements page, and we can simply add this here and place it wherever seems fit. So, for example, we want this to be at the bottom of the page. we can click on it and drag it to the bottom of the page. We can also increase it in size and make it look like this. So teachers, now that you have added water, if you want to add any other elements, for example, you want to add like colorful arrows, you can type anything onto the elements tab and you will be able to put that onto your uh, digital content creation, the resource that you are going to create. So now that we have explored elements, I would like to ask Neetu if we have any questions, if the teachers are asking any questions on chat.
No, Ani, we do not have any question as of now, but I'm sure if teachers have any questions, they will surely share with us. So, teachers, yes, we would like to request you to keep sharing your questions or suggestions with us on the chat section. Yes.
All right. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to explore this option of uploads. So if you want to upload a picture that you already have, or you want to upload a picture of yourself, or you want to upload something that you have already created and you have saved on your computer, then you can go to the uploads tab and you can click on upload media. When you click on upload media, it will redirect you to the files that are present on your computer. You can choose the file that you want to upload onto Canva. For example, let's say choose one we choose one image and we upload it onto Canva. So the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to get uploaded here onto the uploads page, and when you want it to be included onto your infographic, you can simply click on it or click and drag it and it will get shifted onto your infographic and your digital content creation. So that is one way of uploading your pictures. And if you want to add photos that simply exist on Canva and you want to put something that is relevant to your creation, you can, just the way we searched for elements, we can search for photos. So for example, if I type water here and I want to add a picture of water, then we can do this as well. So we can add this picture of water to give the teachers, give the students another visually appealing element onto the infographic. And teachers, just the way we are explaining very basic uh, features of Canva, there are many other things that you can explore on Canva. For example, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on this image. I'm going to go to position on the top right of the page. When I go to position, I can decide where exactly something is placed. So if I click on backward, you will see that my element, the element of water that I had added before, can be is now in front of the picture that I have added now. So there are many things to explore, teachers. Not all of them can be explained right now, but I would like to encourage all the teachers to explore Canva themselves, as this is also an application that is available on your phones. So the next thing is text. So neither right now we are talking about the water cycle, so we would want to give the infographic a heading. So you can simply click on add a heading and create. You can type something and choose the font yourself, or you can go through the fonts that are available on the Canva website and choose one of these fonts. I would like to re-emphasize, teachers, that the ones with the crown at the bottom are pro, which means that these are paid, but the ones that don't have the crown are free. So teachers can use any of the free resources to create these content pieces, or if you have Canva Pro, then you can use any of these text examples. So for example, if we use this text to write water cycle, we can simply click on it and it will appear on our infographic, and then we can make edits to it as we please. For example, right now these two boxes are grouped. We can click on this and ungroup it. Since we don't want the bottom one, we can simply click backspace and delete it, and then I can make it here. If I want to write water cycle, I can see that the font color is not matching my background color, and also the font is very, very large. I can go and decrease the font the way I'm doing it right now. So if I make it smaller, I can also change the color of the font and make it blue. This way, I have also added a heading to my infographic. So teachers, we have seen how exactly we can put a heading. Similarly, the way we put a heading, we can also add subheading and also add a little body of text. To be able to add a subheading, you can simply click on add a subheading and type your text here. Choose your font from the top left, choose the size of the font and choose the color of the font. Similarly, a similar process will be used to add a little body of text, in the sense that the heading will be the heading of the infographic, the subheadings can be a topic, and the little body of text can be the explanation of that topic. So this is how you add text to the infographic or any content pieces that you're creating. So teachers, these are the most important features that we have just addressed about the Canva website. There are many other things that we can explore on Canva, and I think Neetu has a question.
Yes, Vani. So I think we have already talked about that how we can add certain elements to our infographics, and also how we can choose a template or start from scratch. So obviously, as you have mentioned, that a lot of created infographics are also there on the platform. So in case if you want to use any one of them, that can also be done. And if you want to slightly make changes into it and customize it as per the needs of your students, that can also be done. And teachers, this is Canva platform is also available as an application on the Google Play Store. And also if you want to access it on your mobile phone, then you can simply go to canva.com and you'll be able to access the platform, and you will be able to edit infographics there as well. So now, Vani, I would request you to share that how our teachers can download these infographics, and in case if they want to share with their students, so and what are the different formats in which this can be downloaded.
All right. So, teachers, we have spoken about the main features of the Canva website. I would love to encourage you to please go through the website, explore it yourself. This is also an application that is available on your phones. You can explore this platform and share very good quality digital content pieces with your students. So we have created an infographic right now, and right now we have two pages. Just before telling you how exactly you can download it, I would like to mention one point, that you can add as many pages as you want to a digital content piece, and you can download the pages that you want to download. So to add another page, you can simply click here, which will duplicate the page that will create a similar page that is existing here right now, or you can click on add, which will create a blank page for you. So now that teachers, we have discussed this, we are going to click on download to be able to download this infographic, and you will see that there are many types of ways or many types of formats that you can download this in. If you want to download it as an image, you can download it as a PNG or a JPG image. And if you want to download, let's say, multiple pages, not just one page, then you can download it as a PDF standard file or a PDF print file. Apart from that, these infographics and these like digital content pieces can also be downloaded as videos, or they can be downloaded as gifs. So the one that we are going to use for this infographic, because this page is not really relevant for us, we I would use PNG to share an infographic with students, because they would be able to access it immediately. But if there are multiple pages to an infographic, or there are multiple pages to, let's say, a brochure or a flyer, then PDF print or PDF standard can be used. So once you have clicked on PNG and there are multiple pages, but I only want to download the second page, I can click on select pages and unselect all pages and only select the page that I want to download. Once I have selected the page that I want to download, I can click on done. Once that is done, I can simply click on download, and my file will be saved in the downloads folder on my computer. And this is how we're going to create a digital content piece on Canva. To re-emphasize teachers, there are many kinds of templates that are already available on Canva that you can use to make edits to, and make edits as per your choice, as per your topic that you want to address with your students. So it's not necessary to create an infographic from scratch or a digital content piece from scratch. There are hundreds and thousands of templates that are available and that can be edited, so that creating the content piece is also easier for you and also visually appealing for your students. So teachers, I think this is how we use Canva, and I am hoping that if the teachers have any questions, they will share them with us over here on the comment box. But Neetu, I think now that we have shared how exactly to use Canva, we can get back to our session and get back to talking about, you know, digital content pieces, learning gaps, etc.
Right, Vani. So thank you, Vani, for taking us through the platform. And like you have already mentioned about the different types of content available there, and it becomes important uh, to be clear with our objective of creating any content or sharing any kind of content. So teachers, we today we have discussed about a lot of content types, and also how these content types can be utilized in our classrooms. So obviously, whenever you are going to plan your further classes, you will be able to align your content pieces and your objective with that as well. So I'm sure this will help you to plan your classes in a better manner. So going ahead, as we are moving towards the end of today's session, here we would like to share a task with all of our teachers. So generally, whenever you conclude any of your classes, you share a task or a follow up activity with your students. So in a similar manner, we would also like to give a task to you. So the deadline of this task is 11:59 p.m. Tonight. And don't worry, this is not a very difficult task for you. You just simply need to go to Gurushala platform and attempt the Parat test there. So I would just quickly like to explain the steps of this task. So firstly, you need to go to the Parat, which is basically personal analysis and reflection of attitude by teachers. So this is basically a personality test which helps you to understand how do you react or how do you act in certain situation, and what kind of traits are dominant whenever you are acting as a teacher in your classroom. So yes, so this is one test which we would like you to attempt and know more about your personality as a teacher. So once you have attempted the test, you need to sign up on Gurushala, which is basically going on www.gurushala.co, and you can sign up by using your email id, your Facebook id, or your mobile number. So these options are available to sign up on the Gurushala. So once you have signed up, you can log into Gurushala and visit Parat section and attempt the test given there. After attempting the test, you will see your results. You will see that what percentage of different traits you have as a teacher. And then going ahead, you need to share your Parat result in the Gurushala teacher community. Uh, a community is created for the teachers of Telangana. A lot of teachers from Telangana have already joined the community, and they keep sharing their ideas and thoughts on the community. And we would also like you to join the community and share your thoughts on the same. So yes, Vani. So going ahead, we would request you to show the demo of this platform, Parat, and also the teacher community, and show our teachers how they can post their results on our teacher community.
Absolutely. So, teachers, I will be taking you through the Gurushala website and how exactly you can attempt this task and how exactly you can attempt Parat and also um submit it on Gurushala community. So, I think my share screen must be visible right now. What I'll do is I will zoom in a little bit. Yes. All right, teacher. So as you can see, I'm already signed in onto the Gurushala website, which is why I don't have to sign in. In case you have not created your account on Gurushala or haven't signed in, you will see an arrow here. You will have to click on the arrow and sign in or sign up. So once you have signed in or signed up, you will have been redirected to your repository. So from your repository, you have to come back to the Gurushala homepage. For that, you have to go to the top left corner of the page and click on the Gurushala icon or on the home icon to be redirected to this page. Once you are on the home page, as discussed before, there are many pages on the Gurushala website. As you scroll through all the pages, at the bottom of the page, you will see Parat, which is personal analysis and reflection of attitude by teachers. Parat teachers is basically a personality test for teachers, which is going to be talking to you about your teacher personality. I think this is very, very interesting, and I would like to encourage all the teachers to attempt Parat and get to know their teacher personality. So once you click on Parat, you will be redirected to the Parat page. So over here, you will see that there is an explanation of what exactly Parat is and what traits usually teachers have, and this will be an explanation of all kinds of traits that teachers can have and the kind of results that you may get after taking the test. So you can go through this page at your convenience. You can go through it before taking the test or after taking the test. But in order to take the test, you have to click on this button right here, this orange button that says take a test. When you click on this button, you will be redirected to the Parat page, and you will see that when you scroll down, you will see that there are these questions. Now, I will answer some questions to be able to give the teachers an idea of how exactly we can attempt the Parat test. So the first question is, I develop personal relationships with students in the class. So teachers have to think about themselves in a class setup and see if they want to if they agree with the statement for themselves or they disagree. If they disagree, then if they disagree, I'm so sorry, one second. Neetu, I would like to request you to please take teachers through the Parat Parat test.
Right, Vani. So if we if like you have just shown the questions to our teachers, so if we want to answer any question, we can just go through the question and we can see if we disagree or agree with that statement. So if we agree with that statement, we can check the frequency to which we agree. You can see that there are different bubbles in between these extreme ends, agree and disagree. So if you extremely disagree with the option, you can choose the write the option at the right corner, and if you agree with the option, you can choose the circle at the left corner. So like this, teachers, you will be able to see that there are different questions based on different situations of your classroom. Also, some questions are linked to your personal behavior. So once you have attempted all the questions, once you have attempted all the sections of this questionnaire, you will get the result, which will talk about that what kind of traits are dominant in your personality as a teacher. So like we had seen on the first page that it talks about parental behavior, it talks about creative behavior, it also talks about subject matter expert, how innovative are you. So there are different aspects which are required in a teacher when we are teaching in our classroom, and when we are dealing with our students. So so all these traits, all these aspects are covered in this test, and once you answer all these questions, you will be able to see the result and percentage of different traits inherent in you. So yes, that's the essence of this test, that you will get to know more about your personality, and wherever you feel there is a need of change or learning more about certain things, you will be able to plan it ahead. Yes, yes, fine.
Thank you so much, Neetu. And also, teachers, and now that we have learned how exactly we are going to be attempting the Parrot test, we will also now see how exactly we are going to submit this test and share it with us and also our fellow teachers. So once you have attempted the test and you have clicked on submit, you will be receiving this thing, a completion message notification. So you can take a screenshot of that and you can share that with us on community. Once you have taken the screenshot, you can simply go to community by going to the explore bar here and clicking on communities here. You can also go to community through the home page. On the home page, I will show you that as well actually. On the home page, you will see that on the left side there is an orange bar. Once you see the orange bar, you will, when you scroll down, you will see that there is this thing called communities and clubs. So you can simply click on that and you will be redirected to the Gurushala communities page. Once you are on the Gurushala communities page, now this task is supposed to be submitted on the Teachers of Telangana community. So the first step is going to be joining the community. You will click on the join button. So when you click on the join button, you will be redirected to the community page where you will be able to share your Parat results with other teachers who are in this community. As you can see, there are 727 teachers who are interacting with each other on the Teachers of Telangana community. So you can share your Parat results with them, the teachers who are watching the training right now, and also with the Gurushala team. So once you have joined the community, you will see that you will get the option of creating a post. To be able to create a post, you have to click here and you can share your thoughts. So for example, you're sharing your Parat results. You can simply write Parat results, your name, your school, and maybe the subject that you teach and the class that you teach. Once you have written all the necessary details, you can attach your screenshot, attach the screenshot of the completion of the Parat test by clicking on attach file here and then choosing the image from your computer, from your downloads, or wherever it is downloaded on your computer. You can choose the image, you can click on open, and once the image has been uploaded here, you can click on done and that will submit your result. Right now, let's see, if I click on done, I will be able to see this post on the Teachers of Telangana community. So this is how, teachers, you are going to be attempting the Pilot test and also sharing it with your fellow teachers and also with the Gurushala team on the Gurushala website. And this is how you're going to submit your assignment and task for the day. And the deadline for the task is 11:59 p.m. tonight. So Neetu, I think now that we have shared with the teachers how exactly they're going to be attempting the task, and we have spoken to the teachers about a plethora of topics and also taken them through the Gurushala website and Canva, I think we have finally reached the conclusion of the session. And I would like to request you to please conclude this training session with the teachers of Garwal.
Right. Yes. So, teachers, we really hope that you will be able to complete this task by the given deadline, and through this, you will also be able to see that what kind of personality you have. And definitely, we are looking forward to seeing you in tomorrow's session as well. So, before closing the session, we would just like to mention again that at the end of tomorrow's session, we will be sharing a Google form with you all, which will be basically your attendance form. And by submitting that form, you will be able to get your participation certificate on your email IDs. So we would request you to join us for tomorrow's session as well. In case if you want to know more about Gurushala, if you want to know more about the platform and its contents, you can always download the Gurushala app, and we have already shared the link of the application and your steps for the task on the comment on the chat. We will also be sharing all the details on the WhatsApp group, so stay tuned for more updates and more details. And just in case if you have any queries or if you want to share any kind of information with us, you can always reach out to us on info@gurushala.co. This is one email ID where we will try to assist you as soon as we can. So yes, thank you so much once again for joining us for today's session, and we really hope that you will be there with us for tomorrow's session as well. And before just closing the session, teachers, we would also like to announce one more thing, that on 8th of March we would request you to join us for celebrating International Women's Day at 4 p.m. We will be sharing more details of this event on your on your WhatsApp group. So this is an invitation in advance. So yes, we hope to see you there as well. So thank you so much for joining us for today's session, and we look forward to see you in tomorrow's session as well. Thank you so much and take care.
Thank you, teachers. Thank you. Bye.